Hey. Thanks again for pressing play and welcome once again to another edition of the Suns Jam Session Podcast. Whether you're watching along live on our channel or maybe you're over there on Suns Geek channel. Hi, I'm John Voida, managing editor, Bright Side of the Sun. And boy, do we have a show for you tonight. It is a Suns Megapod that we're going to have with a bunch of different content creators from the Suns world. And we're just going to ask each other a bunch of questions. It's going to be real simple how it's going to go tonight. I hope we don't fuck it up. But I know us. And somehow we'll fuck it up. But what we'll do is we'll bring everybody on. I'll give I'm already fucking it up. I'll give the wheel a spin. Whoever it lands on is going to ask a question for everybody else. Everybody else is going to have a chance to kind of go around and answer that question. And it should spark some interesting debate and some interesting insight around your beloved Phoenix Suns. Because yes, it's October 3rd. Training camp has begun. We are a couple days away from the Phoenix Suns tipping off their preseason on 6:30 Sunday night, Palm Desert, Los Angeles Lakers. So we got to get everyone back together. It's time to, it's like summer vacation is over. We're bringing back our friends. And we're saying, hey, how you been? How was your summer? Fucking, how's your dog? How's your mother? So that's what we're going to do tonight. So I'm going to bring in Matthew because that's what I'm used to doing. Hey, Matthew. What's up?
Hey, how you doing, man? What are we doing tonight? What's going on tonight?
Oh, shit. Watch the beginning of the pod, and you'll have a good understanding of how it's going to work.
I see a lot of people lined up, and
there's
some
a lot
clothes off waiting to get in. So
yes. There's a long line at the door, so crack them if you got them, my friends. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. And let's do the Suns Megapod spin cycle. That's right, Sun fans. We got a plethora of big name talent that's joining us on this edition of the Suns Jam Session Podcast. So without further ado, I'm going to start introducing them one at a time. And of course, I'm going to start with Suns Geek because we're also live streaming over on his channel. So Suns Geek, how you doing? Where are you coming from us this time, or coming at us from this time? Because you were in Phoenix a couple days ago. Now where you at? What's going on, man?
Well, first off, I am super excited for the Suns Megapod co-streaming on both of our channels. But yeah, I am live from Memphis, Tennessee. I know, big shocker, Suns Geek doesn't live in Phoenix, although I lived there for 2 decades.
How can you be a fan?
I know, right? Exactly, because real life happens, But yeah, super thrilled to be here, man. Like I said backstage, I'm not drinking for a little bit, but I do got a good old Pepsi here, baby. I've had enough caffeine, so I feel a little drunk.
It's the choice of a new generation.
Wayne's
all right. Fantastic. Well, let's bring in some of our friends from the Fanning the Flames podcast. We got both Justin and Paul are present. What's up, Fanning the Flames?
Hi. Is Paul like super pixelated? Did that just happen?
Yeah, I didn't know he had hair. When did he get hair?
Oh, bro.
It's been a work in progress, Lissy.
Oh, okay.
It's been a work in progress.
Paul's
nice.
internet
Beautiful.
doing its thing. Hey, quick question. Why did we all have Boston accents, Foida, when you were
I
going
just started doing the Mark Wahlberg on SNL thing. He's like, how you doing? How's your mother?
I know. But move on.
I shall move on.
Paul.
Well, we're gonna bring in one of the hottest names in Instagram Suns fandom, Suns Worldwide. What do his eyes look like? We don't know because he wears sunglasses.
What's
up,
going
Cash?
on?
Do you have a piano in front of you? You look really good.
You can't even hear him.
Piano?
Hey.
You think I can play piano? What?
Yeah,
It
know,
looks like you're playing piano right now.
My 10-year-old daughter's room has the same lighting, bro. Congrats.
I was thinking about doing that for the pod, so I
Don't.
might copy that. No.
To be fair, my room does too. I'm just saying, but
So Suns Worldwide, where are you coming to us from?
I'm actually in Suns Geek's basement right now. As we speak.
And last but not least, we're bringing in our buddies from Down Under from the Aussie Suns fan podcast. Give it up for Gavin and Boyd are joining us as well.
Hello, gents.
Hey.
Hello.
That's
I
it.
want to. I just want to know how do we get into Suns Geek's basement?
We're all there?
I don't know.
He kidnapped you.
I'm in my living room. Just for
Get
the
kidnapped by the
Ever
bang
since.
bus, and then he got taken there. So
Okay.
I'm in Memphis, Tennessee.
Hey, Void, this was a terrible idea, bro.
Never,
Yes.
always a good
I thought
idea
this
to
was
talk
going
to
to be
you.
an extremely highly professional podcast, and this is just a disgrace.
did anyone mention John's T-shirt yet?
No,
How
but
badass
somebody,
it is.
but you got the bang bus covered. So that's good.
Well, because we did an interview after media day in the bang bus. It was John and I.
That vlog's coming out
Yeah.
probably tomorrow, by the way. So
That
stay
is
tuned.
an awesome. That's an awesome T-shirt, Voida. Yeah,
Thank you. For those of you who are listening, it's an Austin 316 t-shirt. 17-year-old me is so impressed with 41-year-old me for finally buying this thing. I've been waiting like 20-something years, 24 years, is that math, right? To buy this thing. Because I used to be a huge WWE
Shout out.
fan. So, now I can buy things. So that's nice. So, yeah, we're here to ask each other questions, and no one has shared with each other what the question's going to be. So what we're going to do right now is well, you know what? I'm bringing in the wheel, but I'm not doing it right. I've got to play the wheel world drop.
This is the true story.
True story
Of people answering some questions.
that are spun on some random wheel thingy.
Random wheel thingy.
To find out what happens when questions aren't naturally asked.
but come from a wheel.
This is the Suns Jam Session Wheel World.
Again, we've entered the wheel world, and all we're going to do is we're going to give this thing a spin, and whoever it lands on is going to ask everybody else a question. It's pretty basic stuff, and we're starting with Gavin. So, Gavin, what question have you brought to ask your fellow Suns content creators this afternoon?
I think I'm going to ask which one of the Phoenix Suns players outside of KD and Devin Booker are going to have the biggest impact on the results of the Suns this season?
All right, great question to start, and we're going to start. I have a system here. We're going to start with Suns Worldwide.
Oh, put me on. I think this one is kind of shit. Ryan Dunn. I think he's a huge make or break here.
Hot
I
take.
know he's just a rookie, but I mean, if he can somehow defensive end, he could easily be better than Mikal Bridges in his career.
But as a rookie, do you
As
think
a
he's
rookie-
going to have the opportunity to make the biggest impact out of KD and Devin Booker? Because that's the question, right, Gav? Biggest impact out of KD and Devin Booker. Suns Worldwide, hot with the Ryan Dunn take. Dervish of
I
World,
think-
Paul,
I don't
what do you
know.
think?
It's a conversation
Yeah.
we had there.
My take's definitely not that hot. It's 100% to me Tyus Jones. He's, we saw what happened last year when we didn't have like a proper point guard who can, settle down the offense when necessary, control tempo, control pace, and then take guys who their primary purpose is scoring and put them in positions to effectively do their job well.
Justin, thoughts?
Grayson Allen, because he's huge now, and I don't want to say somebody else because
That's what
I'm
she said.
scared of him.
He could hurt you. Suns Geek?
Yeah, Justin stole my answer, man. Grayson freaking Allen, dude. Obviously put in the work in the gym in the off season. Was our highest three-point shooter last season. Played a good amount of games as well. Like, I don't recall him being out of many games, and was a good leader on and off the court, especially off the court, in my personal opinion. Can't wait to see what he's going to do this season, especially coming off of the bench with not one, but with two true point guards, man. Can't wait to see it. Grayson Allen.
What do you think, Matthew? So far, we got 2 for Grayson Allen, 1 for
Yeah.
Tyus Jones, and 1 for Ryan Dunn.
Let me go with Grayson Allen too. I was gonna take Tyus Jones, but then Suns Worldwide did. Oh, we know who did he choose?
He
Ryan
chose Ryan Dunn.
Oh. Shows I'm paying
Because
attention.
me and Suns Worldwide look so much alike.
Hey, we gotta
Yeah.
somebody's gotta clip that where it's like he chose Ryan Dunn and everyone laughs and play it for Ryan Dunn so we can prove you all wrong.
Ryan
Yeah,
Dunn, the
I'm gonna
only
be
guy
making
who I
edit
asked a
become-
question at Media Day.
Yeah.
See,
So
Justin,
proud-
that's
I'm
on
so
now.
proud of you.
There we go.
I waited till there's two people in there, me and Ryan Dunn. I'm like, all right, now I'll ask a question. Continue, Matthew.
Hi, I'm Floyd, Brightside of the Sun. Are you lonely right now? Because I am.
Well, I think the scariest thing you did was actually get a picture of Bradley Beal's shoes. I think that's even more impressive. To
Yeah, I
stop
did.
him in his tracks and get his
I
shoes.
did walk up to Bradley Beal. I'm like, stop. Can I got to take a picture of those shoes? And I sent it right to Justin. I was like, dude, look at these. He's like, yeah. And he sent me exactly what the shoe was. And he's like, yeah, these are NBA cheap, only $500.
Well, I tweet after. I'm like, can you just imagine Brad Beal sitting over on his phone, like just grinding on the sneakers app? Yeah, probably not. Anyway,
you got people for that.
Off topic.
Matthew.
Yeah, let me go Grayson Allen. The guy's gotten big, like so says Jay says, and he has a lot to prove too. I think he obviously came off his best season last year. Still has to shoot, has to come off the bench. The adjustment for him, but also just like he was one of the best players last year, and he was a starter. Not being a starter is gonna be tough. So if he can, it looked like in media day he's okay with it, but I'm looking for him to actually make a big impact coming off the bench.
I'll ask myself. I like that you. Thank you, Justin.
You're welcome.
You're a gracious host. I like that you guys are saying Grayson Allen, and I definitely think that he has a place on this team and is going to be impactful, but I don't think he's going to have the greatest impact outside of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. I agree with Paul. Tyus Jones has to be the answer here because he's the point guard, because he is what is going to change this team philosophically from who we were last year. So much of the challenges that we had last year were from a lack of facilitation. And I was listening to the Fanning the Flames podcast, which they recently put out yesterday, I believe. And one of the things that Justin did,
2 in 3 weeks.
I know it's impressive. Like
you
are
exhausted.
Shout out.
We almost had one last week, but then Justin had to be a secretary.
Totally on it.
Well, you're crushing the Aussies because I don't remember the last time I heard them have a podcast.
Yeah,
well, it's winter down there. They're busy huddling up. And,
it's been bloody cold here, mate.
They're hibernating. But on the Fanning the Flames podcast, one of the things that Justin said is, because Justin, I don't know if you guys know, this is naturally argumentative. He would have conversations with fellow soccer dads last year talking about how when the conversation came up about having a traditional point guard, he would fight on the side of the Suns are doing everything right. I trust in them. And I wrote some articles for Brightside last year about that exact topic, saying, you know what, positionless is okay. If it's done correctly, it's okay. What we found was it wasn't okay. And the team has pivoted, and they've gone not only with 1 point guard, but 2 point guards. They've gone with 2 point guards who are historically some of the best facilitators as it pertains to assist to turnover ratio. And Tyus Jones is going to be leading that charge. He's the one who's going to be distributing to Booker and to Beal and to Katie and setting them up for success and avoiding isolation possessions with those players running into turnovers and things of that nature. So for those reasons, Tyus Jones is my answer. Boyd, what are your thoughts? We haven't heard much from you.
Mate, I'm gonna jink while you guys are all swerving. I'm gonna go with Nurkic. Old Jusuf
That's my
Nurkic.
boy right there.
You look at a guy that's doing all the 1%ers, right? All the little things.
Are you booing 6 players already?
Hold on.
Sorry?
Did he boo?
Did you boo Suns players already?
Hold on.
Who
Who do we boo?
Hey,
Who is that?
Suns worldwide. Did you just boo Nurkic?
Fuck.
I didn't hear it. What did it say?
Hey guys.
Him?
We're looking at Nurk. He's had a massive transformation over this offseason. He's the guy bringing down 20 boards, and it's a lot of stuff. He does all the hard work, and he's going to be doing it with a lighter frame. So there's going to be, is he going to be able to bang as well? Is he going to be able to get positioned for the rebounds that he pulls down every single game this season? Is he, does it translate to better perimeter defense with the, having less weight? All these sort of little things are what I'm really looking at with the squad, because it's a big position, right? It's a big position. I want to see how that looks, and if it goes south, the backup's Mason and Iggy Iggy
Iguodaro.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's
Iggy.
Come on.
Can't you see? I think we just made the drop,
Iggy
Matthew.
Azalea?
No, like
No,
Biggie.
no.
Biggie Smalls.
Oh. Yeah, that's weird though.
Oh,
I don't
you were
wanna do
singing
that.
Iggy Azalea?
I thought it was an Iggy song.
No, it's
Iggy,
Iggy,
Iggy.
Biggy, Biggy, can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. It's called
Paul.
Yeah,
Oh, I figured you knew it and you'd keep
I
going.
do.
But you didn't.
He saves that only for fan
I think everyone
claims.
knows that song. Yeah.
All right, so Gavin, you asked the
I like it.
question.
I was more focused on the blank stare that Matthew had, and not recognizing a classic hip hop track from.
Yeah, no,
the
I was
time of
thinking.
his life.
I was thinking of the feud between Diddy and who was he in a feud with?
Baby
Diddy
Lil?
and
Now?
Tupac. Diddy and Tupac.
The
Lil
law.
Kim.
The love feud.
Lil'
Yeah,
Kim?
how they were in love and banging each other. That's what I was thinking of.
On the bang bus.
All right.
Gavin, what are your thoughts on who's going to have the
What-
greatest impact outside of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker this season?
I'm going to go different to everybody else as well. And I know you've kind of been on this train a little bit, Voida, over the off season so
As
far.
long as it's not a bus.
I
Hey,
the
trains
bus.
bang too, man.
I am. I'm going to say we're finally going to see the big three in action, and Bradley Beal is going to be the biggest impact outside of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Getting him off ball, having him come off those screens, and being able to pull up. We saw the damage he was able to do, particularly from three with Washington. I think we missed that a little bit last year, and he identified that at Suns Media Day, where he said, Bud pulled him into the room and showed him a whole heap of clips where he should have taken the three and he didn't. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that from Bradley Beal this year. So for me, it's Bradley Beal, and I think we're all going to be very pleased with how the trade worked out by the end of this season.
Well, I
I was
like
wondering
that.
if anyone was going to say Beal.
I like the diversity of the answers because it showcases that there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of different players here. We got a couple for Tyus Jones. We got 3 for Grayson Allen. We got 1 for Bradley Beal. We got 1 for Jusuf Nurkic, and we got 1 for Ryan Dunn. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right, we're going to go back to spinning the wheel, and we're going to see who next is going to provide a question to their fellow Suns content creators. And it's Matthew Lissy, ladies and gents. Matthew Lissy.
Mine's a kind of like a little bit like the last one. I thought Gavin might have stole it, but it's a little bit different. So besides the big three, who is your favorite player going into this season? And do you think they will remain your favorite player towards the end of the season? And at the end of the season, will you have a different favorite player, you think? So kind of a multiple question.
Good question.
There's like 7 questions in there.
Yeah.
Which
you guys
one are we
remember what I
answering?
said?
Favorite player.
Type it on the bottom.
Will they continue to be the favorite player?
Your favorite player.
What's the third part of that question? Favorite player, will they continue to be a favorite player? And what?
Yeah.
Who'll
Is
be
this
your
also
favorite player at the end of the
including
year?
Devin Booker?
Who'll be your favorite player at the end of the year? But it can't be
Other
any
than
of
the big three. Other than the big
Other
three.
than the big
There's
three.
a-
Okay.
We call that something. It's called
Okay.
a compound question.
Yes,
It's not
compound
allowed.
questions. Hopefully it's an easy answer. We're going to start with Suns Geek on this one. Brandon, if you can
That's
remember
okay.
all those questions, answer all of them.
Yeah, I'm going to be a complete Nurkic stan this whole podcast and throughout most of the season until he proves me wrong. It is Jusuf Nurkic. I mean, I'm going to just echo a lot of the things that some of us were talking about earlier and that I've been talking about in a whole bunch of my live shows. I just think that Jusuf Nurkic is completely underrated. I think that the hate for him is pretty much, it's just unwarranted in a way. I think he's going to be a big impact for us. But again, will he be my favorite player at the end of this season? I don't know, because I was already hyping up Grayson Allen. I'm really excited for Damian Lee, another player I've been talking about in my live shows as well. Looks like he's going to hopefully have a big return because I think we're going to need him a lot. But Jusuf Nurkic, man, put up great numbers for us last season, was pretty much healthy for the most part, put up a 31 rebound game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, man. Cannot wait to see what Nurk is going to do. He seemed like he was in good spirits at Media Day. But again, let's fast forward to April. Will he be my favorite player at the end of the season? We will see.
Justin?
Who's next?
Can I
We know
one
this answer.
comment before I give my answer? Like, we have to at some point allow Sons Geek and Sons Worldwide to debate Nurk, because I just need that to happen in front of me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
Yeah, I heard a boo on Nurk earlier, so
Yeah.
that's going to be
When
the
he said
final
Nurk,
round.
like,
We all go
I
away.
just looked immediately at Worldwide. I'm like, what's he doing? And he just looked like, well, a little flummoxed, if you will.
Yeah.
Flummoxed.
Anyway, so if I remember all the questions, favorite player? Was
Not-
it outside of the big three?
Correct.
Okay. I mean, I feel like I have to say Grayson Allen because, well, look, I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong, and I was incredibly wrong about Grayson Allen. And I said some awful, vile things about him in the past. And you know what? You can go find them because I leave them up there. But I will forever apologize for it. And because of that, I would be remiss if I said anybody other than Grayson Allen. Also, Grayson Allen's huge, and I'm scared of him now. That's going to be my I feel like now this is going to be my answer for everything. In fact, while somebody was talking, I'm sitting here looking like how to order a Grayson Allen jersey, because Paul mentioned yesterday I was surprised I don't have one. I'm like, that does seem a travesty.
So you didn't usher your Twitter account?
No, it didn't get hacked and then come back the next day, right?
Yeah, somebody hacked, and when they decided to hack my account, they decided to delete every one of my tweets.
No, dude, yeah, it's wild. No, I don't delete tweets. I don't block people. Like, even though now that's going to apparently be irrelevant. Like, it just seems dumb to me.
Thank God, Kevin.
I can ignore people and compartmentalize it really well. So,
What about
who's
you,
next?
Paul? Who's your favorite, then favorite? Someday there'll be a favorite, and you hope you're a favorite later.
Before I get to
Outside
that,
the big three.
knowing Justin for 20 years, 100%, I could have picked out of a hat that it was Grayson Allen before he even decided to go full steam into Grayson Allen last year. That the fact that he was so anti that guy, and then he joined the team, that 180-degree shift is like right on point for.
To be fair, though, he also wasn't a raging asshole last year, right?
This is true. This is very, very true.
He found God.
Yeah.
He was like, that so says Jay guy. I really can't. I can't let that follow me to Phoenix. I gotta be good.
Yep. I know this kind of sounds like a bit of a broken record, but I'm gonna have to say Tyus Jones. But point guard is my favorite position. My favorite players through the history of liking the NBA have always been point guards, whether they're on the Suns or other teams. And so I've been a fan of Tyus Jones for years. Like, he's always been one of those guys that I wanted to see on the team. He did play for the Wizards for a little bit, which is kind of my East Coast team, because I did spend a couple of years back over there during the Gilbert Arenas era. That was a fun era to be in DC for, I'll tell you that much. So he's kind of who I'm going to be rooting for, kind of going into the season. Who's going to come out? I'm going to say Frank Kaminsky, because I think he's going to stay on the roster.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I like that.
All right.
This is probably the best question.
All right. Suns Worldwide. Boo that one. Who do you got?
Jusuf Nurkic.
Big bully. God. Yes.
Great guy. No, a tough one for me, because I like Jalen Bridges a lot, but I don't think he's going to get a lot of run, even though I'm curious to see what he does in the G League. That's going to be Ryan Dunn again. I mean, that's a great choice. Nobody's brought up Monte Morris yet. I think he's going to have a team. But I think I'm just excited to see Ryan Dunn. I think he has a lot of upside, and I'm just excited to see the kid. I know that's a reasonable boo right there. But yeah, I just think he's. I really wanted to watch Tamani Kamara grow in the Suns uniform. I feel like we haven't had.
Oh, move on. He's gone.
Thank you, Gavin.
He's gone. Move on. Fucking Tamani Kamara.
A rookie that we had to be excited about in a minute. So
it's the wrong button.
I'd say we're gonna keep it with him there.
What about you, Gavin? So we got one for Ryan Dunn. What do you got?
Well, number one, can we stop saying that it's a big three? Because based on the performance last year, we don't have a big three. We've got a big two.
Big three. It was a big three.
Every big three has one guy who's
and
he
would
sacrifice.
Exactly, Paul. Exactly.
Yeah. So
It's
relative
the
to
stops-
total scoring,
I'll say big
where
three
did
selection.
Bradley Beal fall as it
Okay,
pertains to
but
other big
Was
threes?
it a big three?
Yeah, he
I
Boyd's
don't know
right.
about
Third,
that.
only
He
CJ
fi- he-
McCollum and Kristaps Porzingis scored more as the third wheel. So he is part of a big three.
I don't think we have big three, but anyway, my answer to this would have been
I know you
Me
want
neither,
Brad.
Gavin.
outside of those three though. My favorite to I don't hate Bradley Beal. He would have been the answer
Oh,
to
did I
this
say that
question.
loudly? Sorry, I mumbled that.
He would have
quietly.
he would have been my answer to this question if it was outside of those first two. Outside of that, Grayson Allen's the obvious answer, but I think apart from the frustration of his inability to actually shoot a three, I always love watching Josh Okogie out in the court. Just his hustle and everything he gives makes him one of my favorite players to see out on the floor. Defensively, he gives everything he's got. Those one-handed blocks are always good fun. He's pretty good in the open court. He's great to watch. I think by the end of the season, though, I'm going to go with Suns Worldwide here. I think Ryan Dunn's probably going to get a majority of those Okogie-type minutes by the end of the year. And I think he's going to become a little bit of a cult figure within the team. Let's just hope he could shoot threes better than Josh Okogie.
What do you think, Boyd?
Shout out Boyd. Love that.
Mate, I don't think Josh Okogie or Ryan Dunn are going to shoot threes any good this year. But Grayson Allen for mine. Grayson Allen, I mean, he just gave up his starting roster spot for fucking Tyus Jones. Mate, and I want it to be Tyus Jones because he's going to play such a pivotal role, but he's a 1 year rental. Unless he announces that he's going to re-sign for another minimum next year, I can't find myself getting right behind him. For the long term. But the backup is going to be Bol because he's that guy that signed that second minimum.
I was hoping we'd get through this entire thing without his name.
Matthew was going to choose him when it's his turn. That's who was choosing.
Yeah, that's why I asked this question.
Yeah.
Hey, he's ingratiated him. Look, I'll be one of them cheer girls jumping up when he jumps on the court. He's going to be a part of the rotation. He signed a second minimum with us when he could have got more money elsewhere. I fucking love him. And he's just getting better and better under KD and Fizdale. Let's fucking go. Bol and Grayson Allen.
Preach.
All right. This is a tough question because I really like Grayson Allen. I've mentioned to a couple people that the last two media days, my favorite person to listen to talk is Grayson Allen because he doesn't give you kind of broad stroke answers. He really gets into the X's and O's of what he's doing and why. But again, I find myself agreeing with Paul. Like Tyus Jones is entering the season probably my favorite player because of the change that he's bringing and the potential he could bring. Is he going to be my favorite player the whole season? I hope so, because that means the Suns are doing good things. So Matthew, answer your own question with Bol.
Yeah, so no, I'm going to say Tyus Jones going in, but Bol on the way out. I would say Bol now, but you just hear a lot of good things about him. Like this offseason, he's been a freak in the sheets, and he's been in Arizona the whole summer, getting ready for the season. He was training with KD for a couple weeks, so there's a little bit going on there. And I honestly think that he has a lot to prove now that he kind of showed what he has last year. So it'd be amazing at the end of the year. I'm a fan of Bol more than I am Tyus Jones.
All right, well there you go. That's one full round. Let's give this another spin and see who has a question. Oh, it's landed on Suns Geek. All right,
Let's
Suns
go.
Geek, what question have you brought for your fellow Suns content creators?
Well, I do want to apologize because I did miss a message or two that said we had to come up with one, but I did think of this while we were talking, and the Nurk stan is real. Suns Geek is a Nurk stan, and I got a question for all of you. This is sort of inspired by Paul, too. Not saying like you're the reason for this, but you inspired me to ask this question without you even knowing.
Oh, no.
Why is there so much hate for Nurkic? Like, for real, like, why? Like, it just makes no sense. And maybe later, Paul, I'll kind of quote or paraphrase what you said in that chat a long time ago, you know? And for all my subscribers that watch, you've probably heard me talk about this, but why? Why does Nurkic get so much hate? And I guess sort of a follow-up question, do you think that hate is going to lead into the season, or do you think it's kind of died down by now? I know that was a lot to, ask, but...
All right, we're going back the other way.
Please,
Matthew, let's start with Suns Worldwide. Oh, he got up and walked out. What the hell? This guy wants to be on a podcast. He doesn't know how to be on a podcast.
Children.
There you go.
Children.
Matthew, what are your thoughts on why does Nurk get hurt? Or
So much hate. Well, I think
because Nurk gets hurt.
Yes. Well, first of all, no one liked the trade when he was traded over here because we didn't have any expectations for Nurk, really. He showed us what he was made of last year with those big rebounding games, moving the ball around. He was one of our best players in many, many games.
Preach.
Did not end well, of course, in the playoffs for anybody. And I've probably said that 10 times already now on this podcast.
Yeah.
But I do think he gets hate because he's boring. He's just fucking I think it's because there's like no more upside. Like I think we kind of miss a DeAndre Ayton where we're like, oh my God, if he can turn into this, like that's so exciting. Now we just know what we have with Nurk. When they have like that starting lineup picture of Nurk in the middle, he's just the most boring piece out of all of them, but he's still great. I think that's just the only reason.
Yeah, I think the reason that he gets hate, it's quite simple. Rudy Gobert had a good series against him, and Rudy Gobert perennially is a poor playoff performer. And if Gobert is playing well against Nurkic, then clearly Nurkic is the problem. Right. You factor in the fact that I think he's 3-14 or 3-17 in games in the postseason. And people are instantly going to go, well, he's the problem. I don't think it's warranted. Again, I'm a pro Nurk person. That's why I'm frustrated that he blocked me on Twitter because I was doing trade him, but I did it in, capital, lowercase, going, yeah, trade him. And he didn't get the sarcasm in that tweet, and I was instantly blocked. But that's my thought process on that. Boyd, what do you think?
Yeah, look, I think he replaced DA, and I think he's inherited a bit of his that number one pick that was DA. DA had his massive stands that were living and dying on that hill. So he's inherited all that number one pick, I think. Well, it's somewhat of a parallel hate to what DA had, but I think he's just inherited from that whole fucking DA experience, right? The ups and downs of that tenure. So, but yeah, I think he's fucking brilliant, man. He does his job. He does everything that we were fucking whinging about previously that DA wasn't doing, and it's all. He shouldn't be getting the hard time that he's getting.
Gavin?
Yeah, similar lines. I'm not sure.
Whoa. Sums up with your mic. Sounds like cockroaches fucking.
Somehow
exactly how they say.
Ooh.
Oh man.
Ooh. Try it again. Come back.
Oh, he was the best part of the show too.
I know. Gavin. Everything Gavin says is just gold. That's why we've missed him so much on the Aussie Suns fan podcast this summer. All right. Well, I'll go to Suns Worldwide and Suns Worldwide just so you know. Okay. When you're not speaking, mute yourself because you're doing other shit and I hear everything you're doing. It sounds like you're like rolling doobies in a van down by the river.
Suns Worldwide, don't mute yourself. I like the doobie roll.
No, it's not good for audio. And this is a podcast. But yeah, Suns Worldwide. What's your thoughts on the question? Because you were booing Nurkic earlier.
Why do you hate Nurkic?
Yeah, why do you hate Nurkic? That's a good question.
I did that for the trolls, for the memes. You guys can clearly tell I'm as Jay calls me, a kid. But yeah, I actually like Nurkic. I think he's a great teammate. I don't know, man. Like, I do get the point. Like, a lot of people probably don't like him because he's not flashy. He's not like an iconic. It's Jusuf Nurkic. Not opposed to dominating, which he really has to get rid of that. But yeah, dude, I like Nurkic. I was pretty hyped when we traded for him. But yeah, there's the squash the Nurk beef that was started a couple minutes ago.
There we go. Let's squash that Nerf. I'll just stop talking, Paul. Gavin. Let's see.
Am I back? Is that better?
Yes. Oh, the sweet, beautiful, soft sounds of Gavin. Please use your harmonic voice to explain your thoughts on why Nurkic gets so much hate. Put us at ease.
I'm on the similar lines to Boyd. I'm not sure he inherited the DA hate, but because he was part of that trade where we traded off our number one pick for Nurkic, come in as the center. Everybody expected so much of DA, which he didn't deliver. And now we've traded for somebody who people see as below the potential output of what DA provides. And people get frustrated with that. But I agree with what Matthew said earlier. His output this year was excellent for his contract size and the actual role that needs to be played in this team as a center, his output was perfect. So I don't get why so much of the hate exists, but I sort of understand why they've passed it on to him. People want this. Basically, Suns fans, and we all know it, especially Suns Twitter fans and Facebook fans, expect us to be able to have the next Nikola Jokic running around out there at center to pair with Booker and KD and Bradley Beal. And that's what the expectation is rather than what gets delivered. I love you too.
No, and I agree with that because, again, I always have that conversation. Price or value paid, Nurk is what you get. And people expect that because DA left on a $33 million deal, somehow we should have a $33 million center performing like that, and it doesn't make sense. What do you think, Paul?
I mean, I know Geek did say that I had a rant on this previously. I mean, to me, the hate on Nurk was 100% a deflection more than anything, because in the regular season I didn't see a lot of hate on Nurk. I mean, yeah, did he have a bad game here or there? Were there some people who were like, wanted the production of DA without paying for that production? Sure, but in the playoffs, the big three didn't show up. I've said that multiple times. And coming into the season, I said, if we have any chance of winning, the big three has to, on a consistent basis, score 70 points minimum to put us in a position to win. They didn't do that except for in, I think, one game. One of those 4 games did they score 70 points. And it became trying to find some other reason why we didn't win without putting proper criticism on those 3. And because Nurkic, was subpar during the playoffs, I'm not going to deny that. It went from he was the cause. It became he was the cause. And all of that anger and disappointment of being swept in the first round was pushed towards him instead of where it actually probably should have been on the big 3.
Very well said. I agree. What do you think, Justin? And why is the Devin Booker painting not up behind you where it should be?
Because I got yelled at.
You can put it up right now.
It was over our fireplace for actually longer than I expected it to be over our fireplace. Yeah, I was told to bring it, take it down. Not too long after I put it up. It was Hoka weekend, man. So I can't, show off
the girls didn't want that in the background of their TikTok dances?
No, it wasn't even them. It was my wife.
All right, thoughts on Nurk, Justin?
Why does Nurk get as much hate as he does? Because people are dumb? I mean, like what else? Like, what do they expect? Like, there is no perfect player. Nurk is doing exactly like as you guys have said, doing his job. And what has Nurk not done? He's never done anything inexcusable, right? DeAndre Ayton did many things that were inexcusable.
He got a giant tattoo that said dominating.
Inexcusable.
That's probably where it all started, to be quite honest. That's like a dude that can't golf but wears a white belt. You can't fix that. There's something like internally wrong with that person, like DeAndre Ayton getting that tattoo. And I've said this before because look, I defended that dude. I was on that hill.
Yeah, we were.
But you know what? That's the way I roll. I'm going to defend what the Suns do no matter what. Him getting out of his Suns uniform was maybe one of the most relieving things I've ever experienced in my entire life. Wow, I got off topic. Go figure. So Nurk gets hate because people are dumb.
I like it. All right, Suns Geek, you asked the question. Let's get your insight on it and talk about Paul's rant that inspired this.
Yeah, I mean, just pretty much I'm going to echo what he said, and I'm sort of paraphrasing here, but just because the big 3 did not show up, and because, like Justin said, because people are dumb and people want to bitch and complain about stuff to make themselves feel better because they were trying to numb the pain that was this disastrous season. And you know what? I can relate to that a little bit. I understand, but I'm not going to sit here and act like Nurkic deserves all the hate, and he's the reason that this season failed. It was a team effort for a reason. Clearly, there was stuff going on in the locker room, Frank Vogel and all that. And look, I'm not saying he is like the perfect player. Like, I completely understand. Like, I know he has flaws, but I am just excited to see him this season. I hope that the hate stops. I hope that he proves everybody wrong. And I'm happy that Nurkic is on this team.
Perfect. Well, we've had some good questions thus far, and it brought up some good topics of conversation as we prepare for the 2024-2025 Phoenix Suns. Next up is Dervish of Whirl, Paul from the Fanning the Flames podcast.
So, so my question is not a multi-part question. I'll give you that. You're welcome.
That's shocking.
But my question is going to be, who is going to be the player who divides the fan base this season? As I have now coined it, the Dominating Award.
Didn't we just talk about this?
Well, is
Sort
it
of
going to be
segues.
Dirk or is it going to be
Good
somebody
segue.
else?
All right. Well, let's kind of go back the other way and start with Suns Worldwide. Who is going to be the divisive player this season that's going to create a lot of content probably for all of our channels at some point?
I don't think. It might be Bradley Beal. Not because of like play. I think it's just gonna be. It's gonna create a lot of conversation throughout the Suns community. I think that's a good one, especially left last season off with like 4 points in Game 4. So I don't know. There's been a lot of Bradley. He definitely wasn't playing a role that he was supposed to. Does you guys ever think Bradley Beal would be a point guard in his career?
Yeah, but he only played point guard like 2% of the time. If you look at Basketball Reference, that's the challenge. Booker played 95% point. So even though Bradley Beal's been saying that, like, well, I'm going to play my role again. Motherfucker, you were playing your role last year. Sorry. Continue.
No, W rant. But yeah, I think you guys are going to make a lot of content. Suns Geek for sure is definitely going to make a lot of content on Bradley Beal.
All right, what do you think,
Beal,
Gavin?
Beal.
Yeah, I think the obvious candidates are both Beal and Nurkic. They're the two that tend to divide the fan base from top to bottom last season. I think that anyone else that's come in this season's probably going to get a little bit of leeway, particularly Tyus Jones. If Tyus doesn't perform maybe as well, he'll get a bit of leeway given the fact that the ball needs to be in the hands of the other three anyway. So I think it's between those two. Look, I called that Bradley Beal's going to be the person outside of those two that is going to step up. So I'm going to say Nurkic will once again divide the fan base.
We're already divided. One for Beal, one for Nurkic. Boyd, what do you got?
I think it's between them two as well, but I'm going to go with Beal. And I don't think, because the reason it's going to be divisive is because of that big old fucking price tag that he has on his head. And that's the only fucking reason. He's coming in third fiddle. He's getting the least touches out of all them guys. And the difference between last year, him playing the shooting guard role, is that Devin Booker was the point guard. This year, it'll be Tyus Jones, and he is made for this. He's made for honing in on when Bradley Beal is making a back cut or he's got all that off-ball movement and fucking getting him some buckets. So I think it's going to be completely different. But yeah, he would definitely. But it's all contract-wise for me. It's because of the no trade clause. It'll just be a fucking, dredging all that shit up again.
2 for Beal, 1 for Nurkic. I believe.
And she said, "You're not the only one, but you're the best, Bradley." Bo, bo.
I too believe that it's going to be Bradley Beal for all the reasons Boyd said. It's price for value paid. It's the contract. Regardless, the divisive player always has to come from the starting five because our fan base endears itself to our reserves. And whenever a game goes wrong, we say, if only Bol got more minutes, right? If only Ryan Dunn had an opportunity to play defense in the last 3 minutes. But it's going to come down to performances by Bradley Beal, the fact that he's not going to be, that he's the tertiary option, that, he might not be a big three per Gavin, and he's going to score less points than both Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. And when you have that $50 million price tag, you expect more. And therefore, when things don't go right, it's going to go Beal's way. And there's also that injury factor, and we know it's coming with Beal. It's going to happen at some point this season, and that's what's going to create the divisiveness. Is there's going to be a tweaked ankle or an oblique that's hurt, and then next thing you know, he's out for 8 games, and that's when the divisiveness begins. But Matthew, what do the cars behind you say?
Can you hear those cars?
I can.
Oh wow! I'm sorry, guys.
Are they yelling? They're like,
no, I think they're speeding up. I mean, Eminem's daughter Haley is pregnant. Will Eminem be jealous of the baby? I don't know. That's something we'll have to worry about. I'm gonna go Kevin Durant. The only reason is because if this season does go like last, is he gonna be the guy that's like, yeah, I'm just here to play. I'm just here to ball. Is that gonna drive us nuts? And you have the KD fans that are always gonna stick up for him. So that got on my nerves last year. So with more expectations this year, and that still happens again, then I could see myself being like, come on, KD. You're getting Booker's head. Like the season doesn't matter. It has to matter this year. So that's gonna bug me coming up this year.
All right, a KD one. What do you think, Geek?
All great answers, and in a weird way, I feel like that question could have been a whole podcast by itself. And there's so much I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Beal and Nurk debate and all that, and even the KD one. So I'm glad you went with that answer, Matthew. But I'm going to kind of segue here. I'm going to say it's like pretty much our role players and our bench. Like if they don't step up, like fans are going to be divided. Oh, we need better depth. We shouldn't have signed this guy. Yada, yada, yada. That's my answer right there. But like a big part of me wants to go with the answer Beal and Nurkic, but I'm going to point to the bench and the role guys, you know.
Justin?
I think it's hard to not say Nurk because fucking dog hates Nurk. Blocked. Shiloh just got blocked. Nurk.
You tell Nurk.
Because here's the thing. We're creatures of habit. Like he was the brunt of it last year. I'm hard pressed to see anybody stepping in and doing something that's going to take that away. What would be beautiful though is if, you know, he came in and shot a 3 and like made him and like everyone was like, oh, now he's amazing. And there was nobody that was divisive. Oh, that's my answer.
All right. What do you think, Paul? You asked the question.
Good luck with that one.
Well, I
know.
Lot of great answers. I had an answer, but Matthew stole it, so I'm going to go with my backup, and I'm going to say Grayson Allen, because
you're getting your ass kicked.
Whoa, by Grayson Allen.
Exactly.
Because my question is, was last year an anomaly? Was he not an asshole last year, and will it come back around? And you got the people who were like all pre-Suns, anti-Grayson Allen, outside of Justin, because you know once you're in the uniform, you're in the mafia, and
I turn into
but
Saul.
There are those people who like see some of that unsportsmanlike conduct that he'd been accused of, and justifiably so in the past. If that comes back around for some reason,
I wish he'd bring it back. To be honest, we needed someone who belted someone last year.
Maybe we do, and I don't know. But
we need that enforcer.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I love Lissy's answer because and he had the exact same reason I was gonna say is like Kevin Durant is like just, and a lot of it's just because of his personality. You know, he doesn't like he is combative. There's a reason he blocked you, Voida. And he does engage with the fans. So if things do go sideways at all, you know, he'll get in there and like muck it up, and that's not going to help a portion of the fan base help him can stay endeared to a portion of the fan base. But again, there's also all the KD stands who are just like, he's fucking KD. And I don't care what he says on Twitter. See what he does on the basketball court.
Yeah.
I'm offended by that answer, just for the record.
I'm good at offending you.
Mm-hmm. I'm offended you're offended so easily. All right, let's give the wheel a spin. We got 4 more questions to ask, and it's my question. All right, let's see. Okay, so the question that I have for all of you fine Suns podcast creators, it's an easy one in the concept of time. So one thing that I've been really big on is the fact that I believe that the Suns should attempt 40% of their total field goals as 3-pointers. It's something that they've never done in the history of the Suns. 39.2% of total shots coming as 3-pointers happened once in the history. That's the highest they've ever had. It was the 2020-2021 team that went to the finals. Four of the last 5 seasons that Coach Bud has coached, his teams have shot 40% or more 3-pointers. Okay, so total volume. I'm not talking about percentage of makes. I'm talking about percentage of volume. Okay. At the same time, you want some efficiency with that shooting. And if you could have this perfect world where they shoot 40% of their total shots are threes and 40%, and they shoot a 40% 3-point percent, you're almost guaranteed to win a championship. So my question for all of you, and we'll start with Matthew, how many teams in the history of the NBA have shot over 40% from beyond the arc for an entire season? How many teams? See, it's easy. Everyone just goes around and gives a number, not some super fucking introspective about.
So, like, how many years did it happen, or just like
how many teams? How many teams have shot 40% or more?
Oh, okay.
Field goal percentage, not percentage of total shots, but field goal percentage.
I'll go 2.
2 teams. All right, Suns Geek.
7.
7 from Suns Geek. Justin, muted.
He said 4.
He says 4. All right, he's got to be quiet or the dog will punch him. All right, so we got Paul.
I'm going Price is Right rules and going 4.1.
4.1 teams.
4.1.
Can't do that.
I would also work.
Suns Worldwide. How many teams?
You're on mute.
Muted. I feel like I'm on a Zoom call at work.
He can't do numbers.
Team. I can't. What team? What? Sorry, I got sidetracked.
How many teams?
How many teams have shot 40% or more for an entire season from beyond the arc?
He's my favorite. I really like him.
3.
3. Gavin.
Yeah, I was going with 3, but yeah.
3. Boyd.
I'll say it's 3 teams and it's been done 4 times.
Interesting.
Good answer, Boyd.
Yeah, I was talking about total
And
time.
Boyd just doesn't even know the answer.
Total,
No, the answer.
I thought it was total times, right?
The answer is 6.
I was
6
so
times.
close. Let's go.
Serious?
6. So no one got it right.
I was close.
Yeah, you're the closest. And then just one random question: Who thinks they can pinpoint which team shot the highest percent from beyond the arc for an entire season at 42.8%?
Golden State Warriors.
The Boston Celtics.
Golden State Warriors when KD was on the team.
Nope.
I reckon it's an old team. It's an older team that probably shot fucking 8 of them all year.
The TMC Warriors in the 90s.
No, they didn't shoot enough threes in general. Nobody did.
Is it one of Budenholzer's Hawks teams?
It's got to be within the last decade. It's got to be post Curry era because nobody was shooting that.
The Spurs.
Really?
I'm just gonna
Don't sleep on those TMC Warriors teams, man.
Nope.
They're pretty damn good.
The Pistons.
Washington Bullets.
Give us
the running gun Suns.
Whoa, give us an era.
Yeah, give us a hint,
Mercury.
man.
It was the Michael Jordan era.
Wow.
Detroit.
Who was that?
Detroit
The
Pistons.
Pacers.
What years are those?
The Charlotte Hornets.
Nope.
Pacers
Hornet
never won it.
Hornets.
Pacers didn't win a championship in that time.
No.
Did they? Was it?
Oh, they have
Was
to
it
win a
the Houston-
championship?
No, they didn't win a champ. Well, the team that did this did win a championship.
Oh, okay.
Was it the Houston Rockets?
Nope.
Oh,
I was always thinking Rockets.
give us another
The
hint.
Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, ding, 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 ding. The 1996-1997 Chicago Bulls
Damn
shot
it.
42.8% from beyond the arc. Number 2
From
was the
7 total shots.
Yeah, it was 7 shots and they made 4 of them.
They shot more
The
than
2015-16 Warriors are second all time, 41.6%. The 2009-10 Phoenix Suns, 41.2%. 2000 to 2001 San Antonio Spurs at 40.7%. The 1995-1996 Chicago Bulls at 40.3%. And the 2003-2004 Sacramento Kings were at 40.1%. Now, that being said, between 39% and 39.9%, there's 15 teams, and 4 of those were the Phoenix Suns. So the reason I bring this up is because this team has a lot of three-point talent on it in the Phoenix Suns. We have 6 players who shot better than league average, with the league average being, I think, 36.9% from beyond the arc, with Bradley Beal and Grayson Allen, Kevin Durant, Royce O'Neal. Bol was like 43% last year. So we have a lot of really good talent relative to three-point shooting, and that's
if
why
Merck becomes Brooke Lopez 2.0.
Potentially. And so that's why I think, and it's something I'm going to monitor all season long, is what volume are the Suns shooting from beyond the arc? If it's over 40%, good things can happen. And if they shoot from a percentage-wise over 40%, great things can happen. All right.
40-40 vision. That's what we get.
40-40 vision. 40-40 vision. I like it. All right. We only got a couple questions left. Let's spin that wheel.
Oh, gosh, who's next?
Suns worldwide.
Yes,
Can this
dude.
question kind of be like, this is kind of a future one, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
I like it.
So Suns 2027, I believe, is the second apron year, right? That's when the plan is to get out, if I'm correct.
Potentially,
Probably.
yeah. That's when Katie's off the books.
Mhm.
I want to hear every one of your guys' kind of, what's your vision for when that time comes? I'm curious. No one's really talked about this, and
It's a
I
good
think
question.
this is kind of
Great
something we kind
question.
of need to talk about.
Let's start with Paul on this one. He's the accountant.
Sorry, what was the question?
Where
What
will
are
it
the
be?
Suns going to
Yeah.
do in 2027?
What the Suns going to do in 2027?
Like, what's the vision in 2027 with the new CBA and no KD on the books and all that? What's the vision?
And also no picks still.
We got a couple picks.
Couple.
I think we're gonna kind of keep trugging along the way we do, in the sense of making trades and moves that way. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another kind of big swing move of some sort that comes through to bring in another kind of like big name player, while to kind of build next to Devin Booker, because I think at that point pretty much everybody's on the table except for Book.
Justin?
I don't know. I expect Mattish to be able to spend a shitload of money and make sure the Suns are still good.
I like this.
That's the extent of my thoughts for what's going to happen in 2 years. I don't know what I'm
Suns
like.
geek.
My wife literally tells me what I'm doing every day in the morning. I don't know what's going to happen to the Suns in 2 years.
Yeah, it's unpredictable, just like this season is unpredictable. But I will say, I guess it kind of just depends if we win a championship by 2027. If we don't win a championship, I'm going to kind of, go with Justin's answer there. I feel like Matt Ishbia is going to continue to spend. He will not care, make a big move and all of that. But it just depends if we win a championship or not by 2027. Matthew,
What do you
bored
think,
over
Matthew?
No, I'm not. Who's in office? Would it be Kamala or would it be Donald Trump, you think?
I'm not
that makes an opinion on how
All
Ishbia's
Is that your
spending his
question?
money.
spend his
there.
money.
Welcome to the Suns Megapod.
No, I think what's going to happen is one of these young stars that are in the NBA is going to come to Phoenix. One of them. I just don't know which one, because Devin Booker will definitely be here. I think he'll be probably halfway into his prime years, so he'll probably have a couple more prime years. So he'll probably want to win another championship with some young dude. So maybe who's the dude that's coming out? Cooper Flag. Maybe he wants to come to Phoenix, so he'll
Maybe
be a Sun in
Tyrese
3
Halliburton?
years. Yeah,
Cooper
he's
Flag.
boring,
Cooper
though.
Flag, I'm not sure of, just because he's still going to be under that rookie scale contract by whoever
He'll
has
want
him in
out.
2 years.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he'll
Even
be
if he
a
wants
Sun.
out, though, I don't think that.
He's going to be on
You
Charlotte.
guys
Hey,
always
hey,
say
this is
that
Matthew's
stuff.
world.
You guys are always saying that. You don't even understand, all right? Can you guess who I'm voting for by doing this? You don't understand, dude.
Donald
All
Trump
right.
there.
Kerry Lake.
Carry your leg, dude. What a babe.
Well, here's what I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up the
What a
cap
babe.
sheet. And if you look at are we talking the 2027, 2028 season, Suns worldwide?
Whenever the second apron shit gets out of hand, because don't they lose picks for that if they're still in it by a certain amount of years?
They're going to lose
That
picks
starts
for that if
next
they
season.
starts next year,
Yeah.
Oh,
because it's
okay,
3 out of
so-
4 years. And so next
All
year's
right.
the third year of them being potentially a second apron team, unless they move on from somebody. But if you look at the cap sheet, currently Kevin Durant's an unrestricted free agent starting in 2026/27, and something's going to be worked out between now and then. Bradley Beal has a player option in 26/27 as well, and Devin Booker is going to be on the book. So potentially we're not going to be out of the second apron until 2027/28. The way that I look at it is kind of aligned with some, what like Justin said, Matty Ishbia is going to spend money. And he's going to, if he's smart, in my opinion, they're going to extend Kevin Durant, and then they're going to utilize him as a trade chip when he's 38 years old in a couple seasons, or even next year. Next year, off season, next year, trade deadline. They move on from KD. They break down his contract into smaller parts on people who want to play alongside Devin Booker, which, newsflash, is a lot of different players. John Morant, maybe? I don't know. Who did Justin always want? De'Aaron Fox. They're going to bring De'Aaron Fox here. That's what I'm saying. That's the move. They're bringing De'Aaron Fox. Boyd.
I could see them strategically taking like one shitty year just to get out of the recurring penalties of like, okay, let's reset ourselves. But I think to your point, Boyd, I think like you said with the picks thing, it's 3 out of 4 years, so we kind of need to take 2 years. Maybe, and that may be more than HBO can handle. So he's just like, screw it. We're just gonna, what did Reagan do to Russia? Just outspend him. Basically.
Yeah, he made up space lasers. That's what he did. Boyd,
I think we've still got the big three. I think we're sitting on 2 chips. We've got the big three, and we're making subtle little moves at the trade deadline. Trade deadline with guys like Josh Okogie, like Grayson Allen, like Royce O'Neal, who have played their value by getting all these wide open shots and stuff. And we've managed to get some value back in the way of draft capital and some serviceable players. So we're going to water down these middling contracts. We'll have our big three, and we'll just keep on rejigging it with 2 chips, baby.
Hell yeah, Boyd. I love the optimism.
I love the psychotic nature that you are, Boyd. That's why you have so many kids. Gavin, you're muted over there. What are you thinking there, bud?
I don't give a rat's ass. Just win the chip this year.
Yes, dude. Thank you.
Bam.
I don't want to be alive in 3 years.
What do you think, Suns?
Okay, I'll worry about that later.
Is that because of who you think is going to be president versus who you want to be president?
Yeah, I don't really give a flying. I don't really give a flying fuck who your president is either.
No, that was more a question on Lizzie and not wanting to be alive in 3 years.
Well, I'm moving out of the country if it's Kamala. I'm joking. I'm not political at all. So I don't want to ruffle any feathers.
Suns Worldwide.
I didn't think this question was going to get very political at all.
Your fault, man.
You don't know us.
I don't know you enough, but I don't know. I think this year is really huge, especially kind of with KD situation, because we've all seen Kevin Durant can pull the trade request button at times, and I'm not really sure if this source is really reliable, but I've had conversations with people kind of close to KD's camp, and he said this kind of pretty much what I just said right there. That this year's kind of pretty much the decision of Kevin Durant's future with the Suns.
All right, I like it. That's a good conversation. To look forward, really forward, 2 years forward. All right. So says Jay. You're our second to last guy to ask a question of your fellow Suns content creators here on the Suns Megapod. What do you got?
I making sure I'm not muted. I had a question I was going to ask, and then I saw all your beautiful faces. I decided that I need to ask another question.
I love this.
And it's self-serving, and this is what we like to call a grassroots campaign that's about to start. But should the Suns hire me as their general counsel? That's my question.
All right, start with Paul. All right, we got one for yes. Suns Worldwide.
Starting with me again.
Yeah.
Oof, woof.
Well, fuck you, man. Come on.
Well, see, I love you, but I also know you.
I don't know what that means.
We're witnessing the death of fanning the flames right in front of our eyes.
Like, is Paul?
No, 100%. You should be general counsel. You would yes, a general counsel. I would love to see.
Thank you.
Hear your war stories.
Paul made it sound like I'm like a terrible person and a terrible lawyer. He's like, I know you. That's why.
Suns Worldwide.
All right, I had to look at what
lawyer.
Jesus Christ.
He's Googling what general counsel means.
That's what I had to do here.
That's a yes. Move on. See, look how good I'd be. I make snap decisions, and they're good.
Hire him right now. What are we waiting on here?
See, and I convinced him. My God.
Gavin?
Yeah, I say yes. I say yes just because then if that's the case, surely he gets access to courtside seats to hand out to his friends.
Surely.
Boyd?
Surely.
It's an easy yes for me. I can't believe it hasn't happened already, and I'm going to be pretty pretty chuffed having my general counsel shared with the Phoenix Suns. It's
It
going
would
to
be
be awesome.
nice, wouldn't it?
Nice.
As for me, I just say sustained.
Thank you, sir.
Matthew?
I say yes, but I want to hear your take on abortion.
Oh, what the fuck?
Not allowed in the Suns arena or offices.
Okay.
Like they can't be done there.
It can't be
Boom,
done
there's
at
my-
the stadium.
See, look at that.
Sustained. Suns Geek?
Yes.
2 thumbs up. I love
2
it.
thumbs up.
I will
Justin,
love it.
that'd be
I will
funny if
love
you're the
it
only one who
when
says no.
Well, you guys are idiots.
No.
I don't ask for a lot in life. I'm not somebody that asks for things from people. Manage me. That's all I ask.
There you go.
Just
All
a
right. It's
conversation.
unanimous.
You just need a conversation.
Yeah. I mean,
Unanimous. Yes. All right. We've got one last spin of the wheel. And
Who is
it
it?
looks like Boyd.
Oh,
Boyd just asked a
It
question.
didn't land on Boyd.
All right, Boyd. What's question?
All right, boys. I'm going to throw us into a little multiverse, and I'm going to add 2 wrinkles. 2 wrinkles
no.
in the multiverse.
Oh,
right?
Penis
Okay.
wrinkles.
We're in a multiverse, right? And the first wrinkle is that we don't have any injuries. All of our big guys play 70 plus games in this season. However, in this multiverse,
If there's no injuries, don't they play 82?
okay, mate. In this multiverse, okay, they play 82 games. In this multiverse, though, we throw back to our old ways, and we're the Midi Mafia. We freeze out Tyus Jones and Monty Morris, and we're still living in the mid-range. And that great pickup of ours is just sitting in the corner, spotting up threes every now and then. He doesn't play bad, but he gets frozen out from doing all of his playmaking and setting the table. Where do we get to at the end of the season? Are we a first, second, or are we finals? Do we take it all out still? What happens, boys?
Gavin? That was way too complex. I didn't listen to any of that. I'm chasing like a plus 3,400 parlay on this NFL game, and I just zoned out.
Justin,
translate? I think
I put
the
a lot of
question
thought
is
into that, man.
basically, what would the Suns look like had we had Tyus Jones and Monte Morris last season?
Yeah,
Right?
I was gonna say,
you know what I mean?
The way I read it, the way I listened to it, and the way I heard it was that we have exactly the same setup as what we had last year, but Tyus Jones and Monte Morris are in the
All right,
team.
perfect. Then I'll go first. We fail because we have Frank Vogel. Matthew?
Good answer. Love it.
I'll say what John said.
Suns Geek.
I agree.
We win like 4 or 5 more games and lose in the second round.
Ooh, we make it to the second round. That sounds
I like
nice.
that.
It's a
Justin?
multiverse.
You guys are real.
I thought your question was great, Boyd.
Yeah, no, I think Boyd, you've got the right answer, and I think that Frank Vogel didn't get nearly enough flack for how last season went. Maybe that's just because
he did
was
get
out the
fired.
door. But I mean, like, as far as
That's a good point.
people blaming, like, they blame Nurk before they blame Frank Vogel. Blame the guy who clearly, well,
because
had
he's still
zero
here.
connection with anybody. Because he's still here. You're
Fuck.
right.
What do you mean? Frank Vogel deleted his Twitter account over the summer.
No, but it's back.
Yeah, that wasn't real.
Let me
And
start on
yeah,
that
it's
guy.
back.
Yeah, I know that.
Why?
I was hoping that.
Why is it back?
I don't know.
He was flexing his
misses.
money.
He
He
misses.
rebrand as like fake.
Well,
Bud for whatever
someone
reason.
has to talk about the Mavericks now.
Oh, that's
I
right.
guess that's.
Oh yeah, Frank Vogel is a coaching consultant for Jason Kidd and the Dallas Mavericks, a team or a coach that he won a championship with in the bubble. So I think they had sleepover parties and such. And,
like a Diddy party.
yeah, with LeBron was there.
Ain't no party.
Paul,
And
what
the
are your
baby
thoughts?
oil.
Who's Diddy?
And the baby oil.
No, they
What's
had no
a-
baby
yeah,
oil.
what's a
There
Diddy party?
There was
Somebody
none
explain
that they
that
could
to
get
me?
into the bubble. That was the challenge.
How do you think they made the bubble?
How
It
do
was
you
all
think?
baby oil.
Spit.
My 10-year-old asked me what's going on with P Diddy the other day,
You're like, it's Puff Daddy.
and then her friend said, "Look it up," and I said, "Do not
Don't
look it up."
look it up.
They're like, "Why not?" I'm like, "I don't want that. Not around me. I just no." Anyway,
To think I had his posters on my wall one day.
He was always staring at you, him and the family.
Matthew's like taking it down. Anyway.
Can we get
Suns
Paul's answer
Worldwide's
here?
up, I think.
I think it would have ended exactly the same.
All right, Suns
I think-
Worldwide.
It sounds like you just described the 23-24 Phoenix Suns.
Boom.
Yeah,
Great question, though,
would
Boyd.
would have ended exactly the same.
Yeah.
All right, Gavin, answer your own question.
It's Boyd's question. Would have
I meant Boyd. I meant
exactly
Boyd.
the same answer.
You guys have the same accent.
I got a
Well,
mix
well,
earlier too.
Look alike.
Well, I put a lot of thought into that, boys, and and it was a great question, probably the greatest of all time, as old Trumpy would say, greatest question ever. And you guys just fucking changed it, and then just fucking went off in tangents the whole fucking time.
I'm not sure that anyone
I
changed
backed you
anything.
up. I backed you
But
up,
yeah,
Boyd.
look,
But Boyd needed a visual diagram to explain that question to us because
I said it was a great question.
I want to.
Boyd, you can come on my channel next time, and we'll get a proper answer to this.
yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks.
Got you.
All right. On that note, we are out of questions. We are out of questions.
Did Boyd answer his own question?
Yeah.
No, he just shat on
Well,
us.
apparently
so
all of
that's-
us-
we all knew,
apparently
no
all
matter
of us
no matter
answered
what
it
we
wrong.
his
said.
answer's championship.
Yeah, his answer's championship.
Are we really not going to know what his answer is? I need to know.
I said it. I said we're gonna win. We'll still take it out. We'll take it out. We'll win it, boys.
Oh.
All right. Well, on that note, ladies and jamsters, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We appreciate you hanging out and watching the follies that occur whenever you get a bunch of Suns content creators around each other. Some from Australia, some from Memphis.
Parts unknown.
Some from a basement
Some
underneath
Geek's
a house in Mesa.
basement.
No, but I really appreciate everyone hanging out. Let's go around. Matthew, where can people follow you? Nowhere.
No,
Suns Geek. Break it down.
I'm moving out of this country.
What was the question? Where to follow me? Suns
sir.
Geek. Just search for it. But can I just say something real quick, you guys?
Fire away.
Basketball is back in our lives, whether you like preseason or not. There's a game, I believe, early in the morning, and then there's a game at night. We have basketball back in our lives tomorrow. Hallelujah. Praise God.
What do you got? So says Jay.
I'm hi, my name is
Hi.
Jusuf Jay. That's where you can find me. Also, this is why I don't put my real name out in ideas.
For real.
Paul?
Dervish of Whirl on all platforms
Suns Worldwide.
that I want you
Even
to find
on-
me on.
That's not true.
You can check me out on OnlyFans at sunsworldwide.com.
Oh damn, dude.
No, thank you.
How much are you?
How much?
Yeah,
How much am I? What?
Do you not
Can
know how
we
OnlyFans
rephrase
works?
Can we
don't you
rephrase
pay like
that question?
$18 or something?
That sounds crazy. Like you're gonna buy me. What? You said
Oh, I thought
how
it was
much
like an
am
auction.
I?
Thought you were in a basement.
Bro,
I am.
you just
I'm-
said you're
this is
on
what Suns Geek
OnlyFans,
makes me
now you're
do.
all offended. What's happening?
Gavin,
was
where can they
crazy.
find you?
At Aussie Suns fans on all of the major platforms. Check us out.
And you guys are doing a pod potentially this weekend?
Maybe this weekend we'll see whether we can work it out. Otherwise, it'll be next week.
Fantastic. And Boyd?
At Buds 83, really quickly.
Wait,
And
Mystery,
you can-
a mystery platform.
can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Subscribe to our new podcast feed because I'm an idiot and we have like 3 now and only one of them actually puts our new stuff out. So
I retweeted it.
yeah, everyone that follows Suns Geek, follow our podcast.
Follow the podcast.
That's the way we build that audience back up. Voida, where can they find you, buddy?
They can find me at Darth Void and read all my writing at brightsideofthesun.com. And Suns Geeks right, basketball's back, and I know that the preseason's coming up, and the games don't count, but they certainly still matter. So, Matthew, tell them what they can do.
Wait, is this why
They count in my
Wait.
heart.
Go home and love your